Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
The Daily Compliance News for March 13, 2025, the Uncle Jeffrey edition. This first story comes to us from the Financial Times, which is reporting on the trial in England where former Barclays CEO Jess Staley is trying to overturn his permanent ban on working in the banking industry in the United Kingdom for lying about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. In an email Staley sent to his daughter, he referred to Epstein as Uncle Jeffrey. The court heard as Staley attempts to play down allegations he had ties to the late financier. In a tense hearing, which Staley accused the UK Financial Conduct Authority of invasion of his family privacy, the court heard that Epstein had mentored Alexa Staley and allegedly helped her apply to Columbia University. So, as a Southerner, when you call a family friend uncle, that is a meaningful term, and it means they're a close family friend. So maybe it's different in the United Kingdom. Who knows? Next up, are you a domestic a domestic terrorist? Well, you are if you protest against Tesla cars, according to Donald Trump. He said that protesters against Tesla are harming a great American company, and that further anyone using violence against the car maker would, quote, go through hell, end quote. So be very careful out there. You may be arrested under U.S. domestic terror law, and of course that means you could be sent to Guantanamo where the immigrants are housed. Oh, well. In a very interesting case from Bloomberg, a story from Bloomberg, the federal district judge in the trial of the Cognizant Technologies executives has said he will not allow a prolonged delay of the bribery trial to continue. He said the case has been ready for trial for a long time, and that the DOJ does not need to wait for the Attorney General to review all cases before the Cognizant trial should move forward. It's apparent that the AG is actively reviewing certain cases and coming to conclusions even before the completing of the broad executive order issued by President Trump around FCPA enforcement going forward, and that the DOJ, who had asked for 6 months, was given 4 weeks by the trial judge, and he said the trial would commence on April 7th. So what's the DOJ going to do? I would say the smart money is they're going to dismiss the entire case, but the defendants, for reasons only known to themselves, have waived their right to speedy trial. I'm not sure that the court has to accept their waiver, but the court could dismiss the case. And finally, from NBC News, the Justice Department, the office that prosecutes public corruption, has been slashed in size. The public integrity section had dozens of employees and oversaw cases nationwide, and that has now been cut by the Trump administration. I would ask you to consider, why would the Trump administration want to cut the Office of Public Integrity? But I think the answer is self-evident, that the Trump administration doesn't want to prosecute. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.